Crypto is in probably the worst place it's been in the last 6 months at least. And at least since Trump was elected and in office, we've seen nothing but a free fall across crypto. We saw the Trump coin, Melania, all the Libra stuff happen. But at the same time right now, the market, there's just no sign ahead of us as what's going to be the catalyst to send us back upward, which is a little bit scary, right? But just looking at the 4-year cycles, we're going to talk about in this video why you shouldn't fret about why this cycle is kind of deviating from previous cycle patterns, as every cycle is different. History does rhyme, but it usually doesn't repeat bar for bar or word by word. So we're going to go over that in this video, and why crypto gaming, yes, the most hated narrative in all of crypto, is showing a lot of life right now. We're going to dig into what's going on in the crypto gaming space, because I think this narrative is springboarding up for a major run whenever altcoins do turn around, as there's many catalysts over the next couple of months. We'll talk about that here in this video. So without further ado, let's get in the game. First things first, guys, drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every day and every single week here on In the Game. We have you covered for all the alpha on gaming, AI, meme coins, RWA, and more. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have our exchange partners, Bybit, Blowfin, 𝗑𝗥𝗬𝗓. I would really recommend check out Blowfin down below. That's where I do all of my trading in this markets, long, shorts, etc. I use Blowfin, no KYC, easy onboarding, easy off-ramping, very solid trading source. As well, a big shout out to our sponsors, 𝗏𝗏𝗏, Moon Tropica, CRADLE Games as well. CRADLE Games, I mean, they are absolutely killing it. They did their TGE recently, and their VR and PC gaming mix here is actually top tier. If you dive in on the Oculus device, it's live right now. You can jump into this game, and it really is one of those experiences in VR, AR that years ago, we were talking about this virtual reality, realm in Web3 gaming. And I think that they've really done a good job of establishing it. You can kind of see what the gameplay looks like here on screen. So you can see why this would be very fun to jump on an Oculus and just be able to dive into this world. It's a very, very nice ecosystem. Graphics are top tier, especially for a VR game. So if you have an Oculus, I would absolutely recommend to jump into this, but it is also on PC. Very solid graphics both ways. And of course, they just passed their audit with Hacken, which is a very, very good step forward. So a big shout out to CRADLE Games. You can check them out in the description down below. And now into the not so fun stuff. We have this market, which is just giving us massive headaches. Makes you hard to sleep at night whenever you're seeing your portfolio looking the way that it is. And I mean, I have to highlight this tweet quickly by Miles, because I think it's important for all of us to realize everyone's feeling the pain right now. I don't really think there's many, other than, meme coins, trenchers that were hitting like 100x's every single day, as long as they took profit and didn't stick it all back in Solana. Well, and that's the game, right? We're playing this ultimate casino called crypto, and you need to walk out with more than you came in with. And even though, a lot of meme coiners even made a lot of money, they were putting it back into Sol, which is now down, Solana's looking at down 40% on the week. So there really is no way other than stabling up and actually taking money off the table. And Miles tweets here, don't get it twisted. Many big funds, VCs, creators, big entities have gotten wrecked during this cycle so far because of altcoin volatility and the lack of an alt season. And everyone was eerily complacent, just willing to sit in your bags. You're not alone. And hearing some crazy stories of big losses from respected players in the space, it has been a difficult cycle. And if we look at the 30-day charts, there are some exceptions like Mantra. I mean, this has absolutely been the best token in my portfolio and probably the entire show that we've given over the course of this cycle, at least since post-Trump. If we just look at the year chart here, this thing has done nothing but go up. And especially around this November timeline, it has literally gone from $1.50 up to $8. So a huge spike in growth here on the Mantra token. But otherwise, like, every single thing here is down tremendously. Like, the market has been hit in a way that I don't think anyone saw coming, especially knowing that Trump was talking so bullish about crypto. But instead, all the policies and the tariffs have caused a lot of fear across the market and a lot of global uncertainty. And then so what's happening is even my stock portfolio recently has been in the red a few days, which it's been nothing but up over the last like year, it feels like. So at the same time, like we're not the only asset class that's feeling this, but it is crazy seeing Beam at 0.008. It's down 52% this month. It's crazy seeing Echelon Prime below $5 at 51% down on the month. Even like Mog and Brett, meme coins, they're like staple meme coins, down 50%. This is a cycle that has not been friendly to altcoins whatsoever, and we're definitely all feeling the pain right now. But I also want to give this reminder. A great tweet here, which ranging like this is the market's way of luring in the impatient and greedy traders to slaughter, to keep gambling, to keep trading, to keep putting in longs, thinking, oh, this has to be the bottom. They let the gamblers fight over the crumbs. They'll be left with crumbs. Market isn't going anywhere. Learn the importance of sitting on your hands. So here's the highlight of this. In my opinion, what we have seen so far is absolutely a trader's bull run, okay? So far since Trump's election, let's just say, because that's when the market really springboarded. We saw new all-time highs in Bitcoin leading into the inauguration, etc. This was a trader's market. For those who were able to get into the trenches on Photon or Bullex or whatever the case is, they were able to jump in and make a good amount of money. But it was a trader's market at that point in time. And then AI agents and these types of coins that would pump but really had no sustainability long term. But now I think we are going to move into a quality filter and potentially move into a holders market, because holders have been punished this bull run and we haven't really seen altcoin euphoria yet. But I think now the traders are the one feeling the pain because the pumps aren't as volatile. Everyone's longing all these coins. And look, I mean, everything's down on the 30 days aside from maybe 5 coins on this watch list, which has 217 coins on it. So right now, we might be seeing a shift from short-term euphoria over to long-term holders market. And I think the utility coins are definitely going to benefit moving forward. And the one thing you know for certain is Michael Saylor is going to keep buying Bitcoin. He put in a buy today, 20,000 Bitcoin worth $2 billion. So look, the catalysts still line up. And I want to do one last thing here. If you look back at previous bull runs, on the 4-year cycle, on the bull, like I'm going to call it the bull year, which is like where the new all-time high happens and the euphoria during the peak of the bull run, right? When you look back at previous cycles, the Q1 after elections has always been bullish. But for this cycle, it really hasn't, right? Q1 after election in the 4th year of the 4-year cycle, look at what we're looking at. We're looking at a lot of pain. So like I said at the beginning of the show, look, history will often rhyme, but it's not going to repeat itself step by step. So we have to be able to adapt to that. And I think that we're still going to see a tremendous end of year for crypto, but it's giving us a bit of a hard time here. There were definitely some toppy catalysts with the Trump coin and the Libra coin, but nonetheless, I think the bull thesis for the remainder of the year does remain. We just have to stick through it. We saw Bybit get hacked. Like a lot of things have happened to cause this downturn. So for now, I am sitting on my hands. Look, I consistently will take profits when we have pumps, but I'm willing to sit on my hands during these time periods and understand, like, look, my crypto portfolio, I'm in it for the long haul. And I say it a lot. I'm not playing for next week. I'm not playing for next month. I'm playing for the duration of the cycle. So we will see what happens throughout the rest of the year. But I want to highlight, and you guys are going to be like, oh, here we go again. But I have, a lot of stuff going on right now in the crypto gaming narrative. And if you just start searching crypto gaming on Twitter, you're going to start to see why this is exciting me. As the markets are turning down, okay, so it's not ideal timing, because if the markets were turning up right now, I think gaming coins would be getting a lot of attention. But as Bryson tweets here, it looks like a lot of people will start caring about crypto gaming again. I love it here. And I posted this list of catalysts on Friday night, which we have coming up. And there's even more than this, but they say crypto gaming is dead. And a lot of the comments on this YouTube channel specifically say that crypto gaming is dead. Well, there's a Web3 game in Asia that did $200 million in revenue over the last 12 months. There's a game in Zentry's ecosystem that's done like $100 million in revenue over this year. We see On-chain heroes, which is crushing it, which we're going to talk about in just a second, which is what's bringing attention and a little bit of liquidity back to GameFi and gaming NFTs. So that is going to be talked about here in just a second. We see the off-the-grid on-chain metrics for their testnet are just absolutely consistent. Like their player numbers are never dropping off. The amount of transactions, hexes decoded, very impressive metrics. We have an IRL event this weekend in Las Vegas, and MapleStory playtest from one of the biggest IPs over in Asia. They had an incredible playtest this last week. So if you think that crypto gaming is dead, I think you're not deep enough in the game, no pun intended, in the game, to see that the inevitable is coming. And before we get into the good, obviously, just like with the market, we have had some catalysts that could be that black swan for gaming, right? We saw Dead Drop go under. We saw Dimensionals, who raised a crap ton of money in the VC space in Web3 gaming, completely grift, leave the space. I mean, Dr. Disrespect's game studio, which at one point was heralded as the next big thing in crypto gaming, that is no more. That does not exist anymore. It's a crazy thing to think that these VCs and these games just raised so much money and then have left the space. But however, we're kind of seeing this as a bottom signal. And as Hunter Solaire says here, there's probably going to be some more, especially if this market continues its downturn. And ironically, right after he talked about capitulation from teams running out of money and basically having to launch a token out of desperation, we see about an hour later that the Mystery Society, like one of these social games, it's like a social deduction style game, kind of like Among Us, they actually had to say that they are suspending their development today. So this is definitely going to happen, and the cream will rise to the top in this type of market, which is why I've also narrowed down the coins that I'm really isolated on in this market. I don't really care right now for the DGen $3 million market cap game, because that's really not what's going to get the attention right now, and certainly is going to be one of the first catalysts of games to run out of capital. So let's run through the good in Web3 gaming. First and foremost, AVAX ecosystem. Crushing. It has not been this hot since March 2024, where the price was $62, right? But due to this market, we're looking at a $23 avalanche. I do think that taking a position in AVAX is one of the best things you can do right now. Obviously, my AVAX pillow back there chilling next to my Pengu, but in my opinion, you're seeing meme coin season's hot, but that's not even what we're talking about today. We have Albert coming up, we have Blub coming up, and honestly, I'm super bullish on both. I think if you can get pre-sale into Albert or Blub, or if you got accepted for that, I think both are going to cook astronomically because AVAX has been so hot. But on top of that, it's going to be even more attention on these things because the market is literally so bad. People want a win, and I think the pre-sale is going to cook amazing on those two tokens. But as we see here, the mind share, the engagement, it hasn't been this high since its recent local high over the last 12 months. There's 60K daily engagements, 1.5K daily mentions. The whole timeline is filled with AVAX talks, and we see here off the grid, which we'll talk about this in a second, they have a big event this weekend, which I think we're going to get some announcements regarding the future, maybe the token, maybe mainnet. Who knows what we can see this weekend coming out of off the grid. That is pure speculation from me, but the talks have consistently been Q1, early Q2 for token and mainnet here on off the grid. So as you see, they're coming out with some sort of live action here. So this is like a live action feature using the off the grid kind of like lore and more so like the storyline. So the origins of Teardrop Island revealed, exclusive footage, untold stories. Are you ready? And then Stash tweets here, there's no better time to get on board with AVAX. Memes are taking off. RWAs are taking off. The community is bussin'. I love the modern term there. Yes, Wolves DAO is building there. The Wolf token is on the way. The biggest gaming community in all of crypto is launching their AI agent gaming coin on AVAX. But right now, we have obviously the big Blub and Albert sales, but this weekend, off the grid and Shatterline, their showcase is over in Las Vegas, which is going to be a much needed getaway and a great time for those in the market during a bad time in the market. And that is this weekend. We have the $250,000 esports championship this weekend in Las Vegas. This is for Parallel here. They're offering a $250,000 prize pool March 1st and 2nd over in Las Vegas. This is one of the biggest prize pools in person in Web3 gaming history. So this is going to be an astronomical event for Web3 gaming. And for those of you that think that crypto gaming is dead, the cream has risen to the top. Things like Avalanche, Off the Grid, Shatterline, MapleStory, even like, Infinigods is still crushing it. We have stuff around the corner. On-chain heroes we're about to talk at this moment in time. Like, there are so many good things going on in gaming, but really you have to focus on that top tier. So we'll get into tokens here in just a second. But for tokens, as far as AVAX, I would just invest in AVAX currently. The reason being, there is no off-the-grid token yet. There is no Shatterline token yet. So you don't have that potential. So first and foremost, Avalanche, $23. This is an amazing price point, especially given the narrative here. And I think this is going to help out AVAX for the duration of the cycle. Like, knowing that this is possible on the AVAX chain, I think this gives it so much legs in the future. There's so many entities and games and projects building with AVAX. So AVAX is number one on this list. Number two, under $5 is definitely Parallel Prime, the Echelon Prime token, down 50% this month. And honestly, they're going to have one of the biggest stimuluses in the market whenever the Wayfinder token, the prompt token, goes live. So the top two DCAs to me today are absolutely AVAX and Echelon Prime. But Hustle, why would you think that if the market turns around, that liquidity is going to come back into gaming? Well, that's pretty simple. We see on-chain heroes right now, which is bringing back 2021, 2022 vibes. And when I say this in the best way, but gaming needs a good old-fashioned Ponzi to just be able to sink their teeth into, okay? And if you look back at the last time that this happened, in 2021, 2022, the Ponzi games with Ponzinomics operated when the market was going down. That's when attention ticked up into these things. Why? Because people could make money in a market that was uncertain. Well, I introduced to you on-chain heroes. Now, I'm going to preface this first and foremost. I've told my Discord communities this. I've told anyone who's asked me, Hustle, should I buy and operate in this ecosystem right now? So first and foremost, I'm going to say no. I would not be buying at current prices right now. I mean, to be able to play the game, it's 0.35 ETH. It's over $1,000 for a character. And I really would not be aping into this right now. This is not like last cycle when we could get in at 𝗥𝗂𝗄𝗂 or 𝗪𝗏𝗏 and be able to farm. And we saw the longevity, at least a couple months worth of farming the Ponzi before it kind of collapsed, right? I would not recommend hopping in at these prices. Like, I will say that first and foremost. I have a few NFTs, so I'm playing around with the ecosystem, but I'm also willing to lose money if it comes down to it for the sake of the experiment. So I want to get that out there first and foremost. But Web3 gaming is inevitable, even if this one is a little bit of a Ponzi, minted on Abstract. So Abstract has been getting a lot of flack for not having any original dApps. Well, here's their first flagship dApp, and it is a game, okay? Games are going to be the easiest onboarding mechanism, the easiest way for a chain to be able to market fun apps on their product. And then we see here, the NFTs minted at 0.05, and now they are sitting at 0.35. So that is the first big win here for NFTs in the gaming realm. It's an idle RPG game. People are making $2 to $300 an hour, with single heroes making over $20 an hour. Now, this has gone down a little bit. I believe the current earnings rate is like 30 to 100 a day. It's like $30 to $40 a day per hero. So if you have 10 heroes, you are making $300 a day. But another reason I would say don't buy is the liquidity is very low. So as you see here, $200 million market cap, but there's only 29K tradable. So it's another one of those things. You can't really extract as much as you would like if you're trying to farm this for money, okay? Extract kind of sounds bad, but at the end of the day, you can't take all the profit that you want without potentially hurting the chart. And also there's just not enough liquidity to go around. But this is giving us a little bit of an example. Look, their Gen 1s are worth 1.4 ETH. Their Gen 2s are worth 0.35 ETH. It is the first genuine dApp on Abstract, which is where I see this potentially having a little bit of legs. And this is, for the most part, the most importantly, has brought attention back into gaming. And now people are looking forward to, when can we trade on off the grid? When can we trade our assets on these different games? So as much as people like to say that Web3 gaming is dead, if you were to hop on the timeline right now and just search through what people are talking about. People are talking about gaming. They're talking about on-chain heroes, 𝗨𝗡𝗄𝗡, Prime, the big tournament this weekend, Off the Grid, Shatterline. There's so many different things going on in the space. And I have to say, I haven't been this excited. I mean, we have all seen it, okay? I want to end it with this. We have seen it, okay? For the last 18 months, 12 months really, since February 2024 when gaming last ran. It has been painful. I'm with you. I have absolutely hated it. Just sitting here waiting for gaming to finally have its moment. But I think over the next 3 to 4 months, we're probably going to see gaming go through its next bull run. And I'm more than excited about these catalysts than I have been in the last 2 years, because I think finally the crap has been rinsed out, the quality is rising, and we have so many good products and good events coming up, TGEs, mainnet launches, etc., that I think gaming is looking up in the best of ways. So for me, and I say this all the time, I'm Prime, AVAX, Beam, Ronin, Superverse, and all of these are so cheap right now. Like you're looking at Ronin at $1.10, Beam under a 1 cent. We have Superverse at 63 cents, Prime under $5. We have Zentry at 1.5 cents, Wilder World, I think the best open world game in all of crypto at 25 cents, XAI at 9 cents. There are some great DCAs. Altura back at 5 cents. This was at, what were we looking at here? We were looking at Altura at 14 cents just a couple months ago, right? So there's a lot to nibble on in the gaming market right now, but I would just keep it really above that. I would keep it infrastructure layer or only a top game like a Prime or a Wilder World. So while it might sound similar, right, it's the same coins, I'm really just focused on these right now. You should not be delving into crap in this market. So those are the gaming coins I am mostly looking at this point in time. And I will come out this week with an updated portfolio list. It's going to be much more concise, much more low downside, high upside. And I think it's a good time in the market to have reshuffled your portfolio, move out of things that don't have strength, move into things that show strength, and set yourself up for the rest of the cycle. So I wanted to go over why crypto gaming is trending up. It's not the best timing as the market is going down, but history is kind of rhyming. This happened with Axie. This happened with Pegaxie. This happened with 𝗪𝗏𝗪. This happened with DeFi Kingdoms. They all springboarded in the bear or in down times, and then they really capitalized with Axie and DeFi Kingdoms during a bull run. So we might see this pattern play out again, and you might want to prepare your chips in those top gaming coins before this plays out. And last but not least, a big shout out to Nexus, the software product that we use on this show every single day with alpha portfolio allocations. You can see all of your portfolio in one glance, every single chain, all the wallets, etc. Watch list, analytics, on-chain data, NFTs, gaming. We have a launchpad. We have a pre-TGE investment tracker. And now we're happy to say that our iPhone app on iOS App Store is live. Push notifications, widgets, analytics, portfolio management. You can check this out now. Look up Nexus Labs on the App Store and download today. So guys, I'm going to hop out of here. I will see y'all on the next video. We're going to talk about portfolios. We're going to have the hard conversation of what are we cutting out of the portfolio? What are we simplifying into for a much clearer mindset and I think a clearer path to Valhalla whenever that finally grants itself to us. So guys, stay optimistic. Look, at the end of the day, we're all down bad. We're all feeling the pain of this market. I'm not happy. You're not happy. Nobody's happy across crypto Twitter. But right now, we are seeing some narratives start to heat up in the rubbish, in the, what would they say, the wreckage. As Bane says in Dark Knight Rises, they have to find one of us in the wreckage. I'm in the wreckage right now, but we will all make our way out of this. And I think that crypto gaming is showing light. I think that AI will have a big resurgence. RWA is obviously cooking right now with Mantra. But all in all, play well, my friends. Stay bullish, my friends. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.